Well, Yahweh might have somebody else better that can wash the door. You may be the one that's cleaning up, but Yahweh got some better cleaners than you. So you don't want to take nothing for granted. You might be married because of Yahweh. But you can take what Yahweh gave you for granted and think now you're above your husband. Or your husband think now you're not worthy to have him. Yahweh can replace either one of y'all and give somebody better than you. And is there someone better than you? Yes, there's somebody better than you. Sure, there's someone better than you. Don't think it is not. Do you honestly believe that you have more knowledge than everybody today? You are wiser than all the wise men today, and no one is wiser than you, and no one know more than you, and nobody is more righteous than you? Well, don't fool yourself, because I'm here to tell you, Yahweh has already prepared someone that knows more than me and all of you. And he's already prepared someone that's more righteous and that's just outright better. So you can take for granted the blessings of being part of Yah's house. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret that you took anything for granted. And let me show you. What I'm telling you is the truth. Watch this. Just imagine in the book of Deuteronomy, the 9th chapter. And look what the Creator let us know. The 6th verse, Deuteronomy 9:6. Watch what this says now. Understand therefore that Yahweh, your Elohim, gives you not this good land to possess it for your righteousness. For you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, and forget it not, how you provoked Yahweh your Elohim to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that you did depart out of the land of Egypt until you came to this place. You have been rebellious unto Yahweh. Also in Horeb you provoked Yahweh to wrath, so that Yahweh was angry with you to have destroyed you. When I had gone up into the mount to receive the tables of stones, even the tables of the covenant which Yahweh made with you. Then I stayed in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. I neither did eat bread nor drink water. And Yahweh delivered to me 2 tables of stones written with the finger of Elohim. And on them was written according to all the words which Yahweh spoke with you in the mount out of the midst of the fire in the day of assembly. And it came to pass, at the end of 40 days and 40 nights, that Yahweh gave me 2 tables of stones, even the tables of the covenant. And Yahweh said to me, arise, get you down quickly from here. For your people, which you have brought forth out of Egypt, have corrupted themselves. They have quickly turned aside out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten image. It didn't take long, 40 days and 40 nights. Our 40 days and 40 nights been on the clock 40 days and 40 nights ago. And now we're counting down, and ask yourself, are you pleased with yourself in any kind of way? Well, some of you might be, but let's see how Yah see things. Watch what the Creator says in the 13th verse. Furthermore, Yahweh spoke to me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Let me alone, that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven, and I will make of you a nation mightier and greater than they. This is nothing for Yahweh to replace you. Why do you think we have people like Ruth, a virtuous woman that's not even an Israelite, written among the righteous, a woman that got her own book? In other words, we couldn't find an Israelite to be the example of virtuousness. Undoubtedly, Yahweh found someone better. And Yahweh is constantly finding someone better. So you can sit in that seat in the house of Yahweh in vain, because you don't appreciate the seat you in. You don't even appreciate the door you watch. You don't even appreciate the words that's coming out of the teacher's mouth. The teacher don't appreciate the words that's put in his mouth. Everyone can be replaced because Yahweh is only looking for one thing and one thing only anyway. A faithful man who can find? Or who can find a faithful man? And Yahweh undoubtedly can, because he's always looking for that faithful man. And don't think you know who this is, because this is a type of order, a type of man, a type of sight that most people don't even have a clue about. Now, if you have a clue that you can be replaced just by sitting in a seat, then you might have a clue, because then you can do something about who you are. But you never take anything for granted, because not only Yahweh will replace his people, the nation whom he loved, the people that's carved on the palms of his hands, the apple of his eye, his world without end, Yahweh will do away with them and make a nation out of someone else. How do you think we became in the land? The Almighty said it wasn't for our righteousness. We need to remember that and not forget it. Nor was it because of the uprightness of our heart. So don't think the blessings you receive, you actually really deserve. Some people get caught up in these blessings. I mean, look how blessed I am. Man, you didn't deserve these blessings because you got them. That don't mean you deserve them. But the only reason that we received the land that's called the glory of all lands, the promised land, the land flowing with milk and honey, the only reason we received that land is because of the wickedness of the people who inhabit it, and because of the oath that Yahweh will make with our fathers whom he loved. But make no mistake about it, Yahweh will replace us. And if you don't believe me, let's continue reading these things. Watch this in the book of Esther, the 1st chapter. I want you to see this. Esther, the 1st chapter. Because it don't matter what position you have in Israel. You can be replaced. It don't even have to be in Israel. Because everything belongs to Yah. Yah said he ruleth in the kingdom of men. So Yahweh is ruling everything. People think because they get out of Israel somehow, some way, you ain't escaped nothing. Watch this in the book of Esther, the 1st chapter. We seen how Yahweh can replace his whole nation because a faithful man who can find. And Yahweh is looking for the faithful. In the book of Esther, the 1st chapter, starting at the very first verse, I want you to see this. Now it came to pass in the days of Ahasuerus, from which he reigned, from India even to Ethiopia, over 127 provinces, that in those days when the king Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Shushan the palace, in the 3rd year of his reign, he made a feast unto all his princes, his servants, the power of Persia, Media, the nobles and princes of provinces, being before him. And when he showed the riches of his glorious kingdom and the honor of his excellent majesty many days, even 180 days. When these days were expired, the king made a feast to all the people that were present in Shushan the palace, both to great and small, 7 days, in the court of the garden of the king's palace, where were white and green and blue hangings, fastened with the cords of fine linen and purple, to silver rings and pillars of marble. The beds were of gold and silver, upon a pavement of red, blue, and white, black, and marble. And they gave them drink in the vessels of gold, and royal wine in abundance, according to the state of the king. And the drinking was according to the law. And this is what we have to remember. It's okay to drink, but is there any laws concerning how much you should drink? Sure there is. And watch what it says. None did compel. Nobody forced anybody. Come on, man, take another drink. Take another shot. This ain't no frat party, no type of sorority group. For so the king had appointed to all the officers of his house, that they should do according to every man's pleasure. Also Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house which belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman and Biztha, Harbana, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar, Carcass, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king, to bring Vashti, the queen, before the king with the crown royal, to show the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on. But the queen Vashti refused to come at the king's command by his chamberlains. Therefore was the king very angry, and his anger burned in him. And why did she refuse? Because this is how people get when they get to a certain position or a certain status. They get a certain seat. They think they can act any kind of way. You come in this door all the time, and now you think that door was made for you. This is what happens. We get above ourselves, and then we get to thinking that I've been here for a while. I did this. I deserve this, and I deserve that. And you don't deserve nothing. What you deserve? And as soon as you start thinking, I deserve this, then that's when you began to put yourself in a situation where now it's time to bring you down. Because Yahweh don't like nobody high. Yahweh said he dwell with the lowly. Watch what it says. 13th verse. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner to all that knew law and judgment. And the next to him was Karshina and Shethar, Amatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsina, Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the king's face, and which sat the first in the kingdom. What shall we do to the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she has not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti, the queen, has not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes and to all the people that are in all the promises of the king Ahasuerus. So they didn't just, they not short-minded and narrow-minded like us today, and we think our actions only is against the person that we offend. No, our actions is way broader and deeper than we believe. We can affect a lot of people and a lot of things, but we don't think so, because only we think about ourselves, and we don't think about the impact that it has on everybody else. But watch what it says. '17th verse. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad to all women, so that they shall despise their husband in their eyes, when it shall be reported. The king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti, the queen, to be brought in before him. But she came not. In other words, he commanded her the first time. The first command was something good, something nice. It was non-threatening. But this time, he commanded her, he meant it, bring her here so we can deal with her. And she still refused to come. Now, most people refuse the king's command, they get hung. They get stoned to death, because the king have that authority. And it says in the 18th verse, likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day to all the king princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen, thus shall there rise too much contempt and wrath. If it pleases the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti comes no more before King Ahasuerus. And let the king give her royal estate to another that is better than she. In other words, you can call yourself a queen, and your husband can treat you as a queen. But don't think the queen can't be replaced. The queen can be replaced. Here it is. As a queen, you still supposed to be obedient to your husband, to the king. But for some reason, like a lot of people, they take their position for granted. Not realizing, not thinking that there's somebody that's better than you. No, you're not the best looking. You're not the most virtuous. You're not the person you think you really are. No, there's somebody better. Know that. And Yahweh is already prepared somebody better. If he's not preparing you to be at your best. And how can Yahweh prepare you to be at your best when you refuse to listen to Yahweh? And you just want to act out because you think you can. You think just because you got a mouth, you can say what you want to say. And you got a mind, you can think what you want to think. You got feet and hands, you can do what you want to do. Well, you're wrong. Yahweh gave you those hands and the mouth and those feet and that heart and that spirit and them eyes for a reason. And you can forsake him if you want to. And you can be replaced. Not only Israel can be replaced, and make no mistake about it, a wife can be replaced. And Yahweh will always replace you with somebody better. A faithful man who can find. Because Yahweh is looking to see how faithful you are to him. And he's going to try you. He's going to test you. He's going to challenge you. He's going to see exactly what you're really made of. And Yahweh is looking for the best. Also, in the book of 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter. Turn there. We in a peculiar time. So Yahweh is looking for peculiar people. He's always been looking for peculiar people in every generation. In the book of 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter, and we're going to start reading the 22nd verse. And watch what it says. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did to all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Ain't that something? Here it is, the priest's sons. They preached themselves, and all they did was, all the women that came to the door of the tabernacle, they was tricking them, tricking on them. sleeping with them. And they were using their position for wickedness. Watch what it says. And he said to them, why do you such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. No, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. You make Yahweh's people to transgress. If one man sins against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sins against Yahweh, who shall intercede for him? Notwithstanding, they listened not to the voice of their father, because Yahweh will slay them. And that don't even make sense to me. That's the reason why you want to listen to Yahweh. And of course, they didn't listen to the Most High. Their father. And their father undoubtedly didn't intercede enough to stop them. He talked to them. He counseled them, but he didn't stop them. And this was a terrible thing. And you're going to see how terrible this is. Watch what it says. And the child Samuel grew on and was in favor both with Yahweh and also with man. And there came a man of Elohim to Eli and said to him, thus is Yahweh, did I plainly appear to the house of your father when they were in Egypt in Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer upon my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give to the house of your father all the offerings made by fire of the children of Israel? In other words, man, I gave you the best of the best. Why kick you at my sacrifice and at my offerings, which I have commanded in my habitation? And honor your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the most chief of all the offerings of Israel, my people. In other words, you didn't have enough strength to stop your sons from doing wickedly. Therefore, Yahweh Elohim of Israel says, I said, indeed that your house and the house of your father shall walk before me forever. But now Yahweh says, be it far from me. Watch what the Creator says. For them that honor me, I will honor. And they that despise me shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come that I will cut off your arm and the arm of your father's house, that there shall not be an old man in your house. And you shall see an enemy in my dwelling place, in all the wealth which Elohim shall give Israel. And there shall not be an old man in your house forever. And the man of yours, whom I shall not cut off from my altar, shall be to consume your eyes, to grieve your heart, and all the increase of your house shall die in the flower of their age. In other words, that's when they supposed to do their best and get their most. They're going to be dying. And there shall be a sign to you that shall come upon your two sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. And I will raise me up a faithful priest, because that's what Yahweh is looking for. A faithful man who can find. That shall do according to that which is in my heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before my anointed forever. This is what Yahweh is looking for. You don't think Yahweh can replace you? And you don't think Yahweh will replace you? Sure he will. Yahweh is testing you right now just to see if you need to be replaced or not. I don't care if you just sitting in this seat. That seat belongs to somebody else. We might have a bunch of empty seats because Yahweh want them empty, because nobody is worthy enough to take the seat, because we have taken the Creator for granted. He won't just replace our nation, as he threatened to do more than one time, but he will replace even your wife, who refused to listen to her husband. She'll listen when everything going good, but wait till things turn bad and see what she'll do, and see what she made up, and see if she'll listen then. When it's the most important time for her to listen, she won't listen, because she's already got it in her heart that this position belongs to me. I do whatever I want to do, and nothing belongs to her. She don't even belong to her. So how can she belong to you and you belong to her? We belong to the Most High. And Yahweh took our high priest and said, man, you don't think I can get somebody else over my altar, my sacrifices? Sure I can. And that's exactly what Yahweh did. He got him a faithful priest according to his heart and according to his mind. And yes, Yahweh got a heart and Yahweh got a mind just like us. And our mind and our heart is two different things. Another lesson that we got to learn. But not only Yahweh will do that. Watch this in the book of 1 Chronicles, the 9th chapter. The 19th verse. And this is what it says. And Shalom, the son of Kor, the son of Ebiasaph, the son of Korah, and his brethren, of the house of his fathers, the Korathites, were over the work of the service, keepers of the gate of the tabernacle, and their fathers, being over the host of Yahweh, were keepers of the entry. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, was the ruler over them in times past. And Yahweh was with him. And it is true, Yahweh was with Phinehas. He was a man that had the zeal of Yahweh. But let me show you what happened before Phinehas in Numbers, the 16th chapter. Because as I said before, oftentimes we take Yahweh for granted. And we start feeling ourselves, smelling ourselves, and thinking that this platter of gold, this platter of silver belongs to us. This silver spoon, this gold spoon belong in my mouth. You know, nothing belongs to you. Why don't you know that yet? Nothing belongs to you. Watch what it says in the book of Numbers 16th chapter, the first verse. Now Korah, the son of Ixar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and Horn and the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men. And they rose up before Moshe with the certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moshe and against Aaron, and said to them, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation is holy, every one of them, and Yahweh is among them. Why then lift up yourselves above the congregation of Yahweh? And this was terrible to say, because nobody lifted himself up anyway. But this is how people start feeling. They, in other words, instead of them worrying about their own heart, their own mind, they looking out the window instead of the mirror, and now they want to judge other people. But watch what happens. 4th verse. And when Moshe heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spoke to Korah and to all his company, saying, even tomorrow, Yahweh will show you who are his and who is holy. You think you holy? Yeah, Yahweh going to show you who is holy. And Yahweh is going to show you who belong to him, and will cause him to come near to him. Even him whom he has chosen will he cause to come near to him. This do, take you censers, Korah and all his company. Put fire therein, put incense in them before Yahweh tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahweh do choose, he shall be holy. You take too much upon you, you sons of Levi. In other words, Moses said, look here, man, y'all already got a great position. Y'all already doing a lot of work. You already working in the sanctuary, but that ain't good enough for you. Watch what it says. It's just like a married woman. You already married. You already got a husband. You got kids. You got this. Now all of a sudden, you don't care about nobody else. You want more and more and more just for you and your family. And watch what happens. Then Moses said to Korah, here, I pray you, you sons of Levi, seem it but a small thing to you that Elohim of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahweh, and to stand before the congregation to minister to them? Is that a small thing? And he has brought you near to him, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi, with you, and seek you the priesthood also, for which cause both you and all your company are gathered together against Yahweh. And what is Aaron that you murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Who are they? They talking about they won't come up. Who are they? Now they can't listen to Moses. Is it a small thing that you have brought us up out of the land that flows with milk and honey to kill us in this wilderness, except you make yourself altogether a prince over us? Here it is. They call it Egypt, the land that flowed with milk and honey. Moreover, you have not brought us in a land that flows with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you put out the eyes of these men? Will we not come up if we don't come up? And they trying to mock Moses. And Moses was very angry and said unto Yahweh, respect not you their offering. And Moses didn't get mad often. I have not taken one donkey from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moshe said to Korah, be you and all your company before Yahweh, you, they, Aaron, tomorrow, and take every man his censers, and put incense in them, and bring you before Yahweh every man his censer, 250 censers. You also, and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, put fire in them, laid incense thereon, stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of Yahweh appeared to all the congregation. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O Elohim, the Elohim of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and will you be angry with all the congregation? And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake to the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men. Touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out, stood in the door of their tents, their wives, their sons, their little children. And Moses said, hereby you shall know that Yahweh has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them on my own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they are visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahweh has not sent me. But if Yahweh makes a new thing, and the earth opens her mouth, and swallows them up with all that appertains to them, and they go down alive into the pit, then you should understand that these men has provoked Yahweh. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground divided apart that was under them. The earth opened her mouth, swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained to Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And there came out a fire from Yahweh, and consumed 250 men that offer incense. Now do you see that Yahweh, he can replace you? Yahweh don't need you. We need Yahweh. And we can play with Yahweh if we want to, but Yahweh is not playing with us. Because Yahweh is at the business of looking, seeking for a faithful man. Because a faithful man, who can find? Who can find a faithful man? How committed, how serious are you about the business of Yahweh? Do you want to have your fun today just to lose your salvation for tomorrow? We all have positions of worth. Even just to sit in the house of Yahweh. Yahweh could have woke somebody else up and gave them that seat. But he gave it to you. And you mean to tell me you're not going to respect that seat? Well, Yahweh got someone else better to sit in that seat. This is why Yahweh loved David so much. Just want you to see this. In the book of Psalm 84, I want you to see what David said. In the book of Psalm 84. Just think, can you imagine somebody coming to tell you, not a man, but even if a man came, but somebody came to you and said, look here, I've been watching you. I've been checking you out. And I blessed you. But I found you wanting. And I got somebody better than you. How would you feel? That's what Vashti was told. Let's find somebody better than her. And they did. That's what Eli was told. I want a faithful priest. That's of my own mind and my own heart. You don't respect this seat? You don't value this seat you're sitting in? Well, I'm going to put somebody else in this seat that I know who will value and listen to the words that I sent to them. In the book of Psalms 84, watch what it says. The 9th and 10th verse. Behold, O Elohim, our shield, and look upon the face of your anointed. For a day in your courts is better than 1,000. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my Elohim than to dwell in the tents of wickedness. In other words, it would have just been fine. It would have been satisfying. It would have been a blessing for David just to be a doorkeeper in the courts, in the house of the Most High. That was good enough because he's in the house. Whatever you need me to do, Yahweh, that's what I will do. You want me to fix something, Yahweh? You want me to clean something, Yahweh? You want me to set something up, Yahweh? You want me to teach, Yahweh? Whatever you want me to do, let it be your desires, Yahweh. And I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities. Because I'm made for you. and not the other way around. And speaking of David, watch what the scripture says. I want you to see this in the book of 1 Samuel, the 13th chapter. Because it's nothing for Yahweh to replace any of us. You think we're nothing. We're nobody. We're nothing but dust. We didn't make nothing. We didn't design nothing. We didn't create nothing. We didn't form nothing. So why do we think we deserve anything? This is arrogance. This is haughtiness. This is pride. Watch what it says. 1 Samuel 13:1. Saul reigned 1 year. And when he had reigned 2 years over Israel, this is just 2 years now. And watch what happens. Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash in the mount of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin. The rest of the people he sent every man to his tent. And Jonathan smote the garrison of Philistines that was in Geba, and the Philistines heard of it. And Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, Let the Hebrews hear. And all Israel heard say that Saul had smitten the garrison of the Philistines, and that Israel also had become an abomination to the Philistines. And the people were called together after Saul to Gilgal. And the Philistines gathered themselves together to fight with Israel. 30,000 chariots, 6,000 horsemen, and people as the sand which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up, pitched in Michmash, eastward from Beth Haven. And when the men of Israel saw that they were in a bind, for the people were distressed, then the people did hide themselves in caves, in thickets, in rocks, in high places, and in pits. And some of the Hebrews went over the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead. As for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal. And all the people followed him trembling. They was very scared of the Philistines. And he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to Gilgal, and the people scattered from him. And Saul said, Bring here a burnt offering to me, and peace offering. And he offered the burnt offering. And it came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came, and Saul went out to meet him, that he might salute him. And Samuel said, What have you done? And Saul said, Because I saw the people were scattered from me, and that you came not within the days appointed, and that the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore, said I, the Philistines will come down upon me to Gilgal. And I have not made supplication unto Yahweh. I forced myself, therefore, and offered a burnt offering. Now, anybody with a mind, anybody with a heart, anybody with a spirit, know that the only people that's supposed to do the sacrifices were priests and prophets. That Yahweh command to do this thing. But a king is not to touch the sacrifices of Yahweh. And watch what happens. And Samuel said to Saul, You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of Yahweh your Elohim, which he commanded you. For now would Yahweh have established your kingdom upon Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh has sought him a man after his own heart. And Yahweh has commanded him to be captain over his people, because you have not kept that which Yahweh commanded you. In other words, the only thing Yahweh is looking for in anybody is your faithfulness. You can't all of a sudden do the sacrifice because you want to. You can't all of a sudden be the king because you want to. You can't all of a sudden be the head of the house because you want to. You can't all of a sudden be, you want to correct people that's way beyond you and over your head. Now you think you want to be bold and bad and you want to correct them? No. Just like Miriam and Aaron. What they tell Moses, we prophets too. And they came against Moses. And Yahweh said, you should have been scared to talk to this man. You should have been trembling. But why didn't they know that? Why didn't they think that? Because we get above ourselves. We think we just as good as everybody else. Matter of fact, we think we better than, oh, look at him, I'm better than that. And we don't even know the half of it. And as soon as we begin, I'm better than her. Why her? Why you choose her? I'm better than her. You ain't better than nobody. Who are you? You didn't create yourself. You didn't form yourself. You didn't design yourself. But now you think you something. And let me show you what happens to people who think they better than what they really are. In the book of 1 Samuel 15. And watch what it says. And we're going to start reading at the 10th verse. Then came the word of Yahweh to Samuel, saying, it repents me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and has not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel. And he cried unto Yahweh all night. And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told to Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and has gone about and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, blessed are you of Yahweh. I have performed the commandment of Yahweh. And Samuel said, what means this? What means then this bleating of the sheep in my ears, and the lowing of the oxen which I hear? If you done did what Yahweh said, you should have destroyed everything. And Saul said, they have brought them from the Amalekites. For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen to sacrifice unto Yahweh, your Elohim. And the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said to Saul, stay, and I will tell you what Yahweh has to say to me this night. And he said to him, say on. And Samuel said, when you were little in your own sight, in other words, you didn't think nothing about yourself, were you not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And Yahweh anointed you king over Israel. And Yahweh sent you on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners of the Amalekites. Fight against them until they are consumed. Why then did you not obey the voice of Yahweh, but did rush upon the spoil and do evil in the sight of Yahweh? And Saul said to some, yes, I have obeyed the voice of Yahweh, and have gone the way which Yahweh sent me, and have brought Agag and the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. In other words, he's saying what he did do, like he obeyed Yahweh, like we do. But the people took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto Yahweh Elohim in Gilgal. And Samuel said, has Yahweh as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahweh? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because you have rejected the word of Yahweh, he has also rejected you from being king. This is the second time he telling him this. And Saul said to Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of Yahweh and your words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. Now therefore, I pray you, pardon my sin. Turn again with me that I may worship Yahweh. And Samuel said to Saul, I will not turn with you, for you have rejected the word of Yahweh, and Yahweh has rejected you from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid hold upon the skirt of his mantle and tore it. And Samuel said to him, Yahweh has torn the kingdom of Israel from you this day, and has given it to a neighbor of yours that is better than you. Is that what you want Yahweh to say to you? That he's got somebody better than you? He replacing you with somebody better because you refuse to humble yourself? You refuse to obey his voice? You think you deserve something better? Here it is, somebody cusses out. We don't want to be cussed out, but do we deserve to be cussed out? Yes, we do. Do we deserve to be embarrassed and put to shame? Yes, we do. Do we deserve to be admonished, corrected? Yes, we do. Do we deserve all the adversity that come to our doors? Not only we deserve it, we deserve more than the adversity that comes to our doors. Did not Job teach us and tell us, can we accept good at the hand of Yah and not evil also? In other words, all the good thing, all is good. But soon as we start getting evil, now all of a sudden we don't want to serve Yah. All of a sudden forget Yah. All of a sudden I don't care about Yah, because then we're going to take matters into our own hand. I thought you was a servant of Yahweh. I thought you feared Yahweh. Oh, all we need is a little adversity to come to your door, and you're going to show who you really are. Did not Job teach us, Yahweh giveth, and Yahweh taketh. Blessed be the name of Yahweh. So why will we allow ourselves to get caught up in the good or the bad? No, you don't get caught up in neither. You get caught up in Yahweh. When adversity came to Israel, you know what Moses did? He didn't point the finger. He didn't look down on nobody. He didn't have to shame nobody. He got on his face and prayed. And why can't we do this? Why can't we show our humility and just pray for one another? Why we have to continue pointing the finger at one another as if we better than one another? And make no mistake about it, Yahweh has somebody better. Yahweh got somebody better to sit in the seat, to watch the door. He got a better spouse. He's got a better everything. A better brother, a better sister, better children. So we can think and we can believe that we're faithful. But I'm here to tell you, we better be sure, because a faithful man, who can find? And Yahweh is looking, searching, and seeking this faithful man. And we done came a long way to lose everything. So until tomorrow, Yahweh love you, and so do I. Shalom.
I'm the messenger, Yah, stepping out of Beulah. From Babylon to Zion, my chains are looser in my mind, but out here the jakes will shoot ya. The judge is judge for hire, the jury's are straight liars. Just to see Israel fried up, they got our phones tapped and wired up. The police got you stuck, no one desires us. This law requires us to buy this man's trust, pay to get salvation. Who you playing? But I pulled your card, I seen your stars, they false lights. My spirit spit lyrics so cold, your frostbite, and that's the attitude from your murderous plight, from your rapists every night, and young boys shot down in the street in they mama's sight. Your overseers call this the good life, like the hood's right, rep Zion, that's right, Yah's way, that's life. The ships of Tarshish, the glory of Lebanon will offload to Yah's land. That's what we stepping on. The next plane won't miss the Pentagon. The bees is dying, Florida is drying. Look like death coming to Babylon. The nation about to be born. A pure language giving the call on the name of Yah. All people will serve the sun, the black supremacist. No hippie on the stick, looking like Dennis the Menace. The demon is finished. When the wicked fall, the meek increase. Israel is free. Rejoice in the death of the beast. The resurrection of Yah's people. All your children will be righteous, walking in Yah's likeness, mirth and happiness. All glory in the land that Yah is blessed. See the truth manifest in Yah's elect.